Academy, Internet of Things, for taking this continuous initiative. And I believe I have been getting the privilege of delivering lectures on topics that have been suggested and entrusted to me uh, to try to add more to this research academia. So, with much gratitude and appreciation, I would like to begin my session. And as I see members are joining in, the topic which has been allotted to me uh, under this refresher course is based on team building, which again, at a point of time, if you talk in the positive sense, it has its own dimensions. But on the other hand, if it is not working out well, how and what we should do. So based on this, I will like to share my presentation. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, so a beautiful poster designed for this lecture. Again, thanks for that. And let's begin. So my iconic role model, and I believe not only me, all around the globe, we have a great personality that is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the late President of India. And he, being a teacher and also called as the people's president, the missile man, he has given us the mantra, or you can say, when it comes to team building. And we always have to understand a team is always led by a leader. So, leadership is something which comes together with teams. So, as Dr. Abdul Kalam says, on that note, I would like to begin my presentation. A leader can only be free to lead his team if he keeps abreast of all that is happening around him in real time. So it's not just about leading, it's about being informed, it's about being aware of things that are happening right around. So, what are we going to discuss in this duration of almost 55 minutes that has been allotted to me? We have to understand as to how and what are the things that are required when we are especially coming from the academic institutions, where nowadays teaching is not the only thing. Like, it's not just you teach and you go back and that's the end of the day. No, teaching is just nowadays a part of all that we do in our respective institutions, be it a government college, be it a central university, be it private organizations, autonomous. Everybody has their own challenges and we require a lot of teams. So, through this presentation, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to maybe suggest. I do not say that after this presentation it will be like crisp and clear and everybody will be, accomplishing and getting their best and achieving their goals. No, it's just like showing a mirror. Everybody can simultaneously, including me, try to gauge and see, are we part of a good team? Are we good leaders? Because somewhere or the other, joining this course in itself shows that we would like to have clarity on how a team is formed, how do we lead a team. So this is something that we are going to discuss. So I'll be, I have collected my information from various sources, and keeping India in mind, because we have to understand the country from where we belong. We understand that we have a lot of differences. We have not only differences of the states, but then mindset also, and how these challenges are faced. And when we are working in an institution, it's a hybrid institution. Teachers are from different backgrounds. The students are from different states and all. So how and what we should be doing is something that I will be focusing on. So let's have an input to productivity, because eventually, if you're employed or if you're going to lead, the only thing is that we want that it should be productive, it should make sense, and we should always be moving higher. So this role will at times be as team players, and at times it will be as leaders. So, are we efficient leaders? Are we efficient team player? Is something that we are going to introspect. Now, before I move ahead, I would like some kind of a participation. And even though I understand that I am on a full screen view, I'll just right now make my uh, presentation in like out of Zoom. And now I just want to ask, I can understand that there are 19 members, including me, that are in this meeting right now. So I would just like to know, can you tell me if you all have to decode this acronym of team? What is it based on your point of view as a leader or as a team member? What is it that you would like to see in your team? I'll give, for example, if I say for team the acronym, it means together, efficient, and achievable motivation. Okay, so you want togetherness in your team, you want efficiency in your team, you want to achieve goals, and you want motivation in your team. So this kind of an acronym I have formed based on my vision whenever I'm looking out for a team. So I would like some quick responses in the chat box as to how you would like to decode your team. So yeah, at least I would appreciate if I get at least one or two so that I know we are together and we are as a team presently attending this talk. So I would like at least one or two answers. I'll begin. Like say, for example, if I say together, then I say efficient, I say achievable, motivate. So this is, say, for example, the goal that we are looking out for. So can I get at least one response? Okay. I feel still we have participants joining in, so that's not a problem. Maybe due course, as you're able to make out, you all can just let me know. Fine. So now what we are doing is, let me go back to the presentation. Yeah. So like I give you an example, team. Team can be together everyone achieves more. It can also be, now again, you can see the innovation coming out over here where it says that a team can be innovative, effective, creative, and communicative. Something as a team when you're doing timely, when you are effective, when you are accurate, and you can motivate. Because this is what we do, playing different roles, playing roles as maybe heads of the department, playing roles as maybe principals, playing roles as teachers, as mentors, and at times even parents. So over here, team efforts achieve miracles. So you as an individual, you should be able to decode and keep one thing set for you that, yeah, this is my personality and this is what I do when I lead a team or when I'm a part of a team. So once you have this clear vision, you know what you have to fetch or what you have to work for, right? Now, broadly, basically what I feel, if we are talking about academia and if we're talking about higher education institutions, team for us should at one point of time or most of the time be to train, to educate, to attract, and to motivate. Don't you think that our principals, our heads of the departments, or maybe our coordinators, we, our own selves, are the ones who always want and are entrusted this duty of training, of educating, We have to even attract. You might have noticed that admission time comes and then we are told that the best of teachers can get the best of students, and that's how the institution is reflected. So yes, we have to do this all as a team effort. We become the admission team, so we should be able to attract as many as possible. So you have to place yourself what kind of a team and what is it that you're looking out for. And constantly our duty is to motivate the people around us in the form of our peers when it comes to faculty members, in front of students, and maybe when we are representing our institutions. So now, what is a team? Now, if I tell you, you have to let me know, like, what is it that comprises of a team? Now, you can take an example. Say, for example, we have to represent and we are having sports day, and it's the sports day for the faculty members. So, what is it that you'll be looking out? Say, for example, if your department has 20 members and you have to form a team who is going to represent in sports. So what you all will be looking out for? Obviously, you all will be looking out for certain things. So you all can just brainstorm in your mind, what is it that you all are looking for? The goal eventually is a team is needed, and the goal is, again, you have to set. It's only just participation.
No service people in kitchen.
It's only it's only just participation. I think so. Somebody's mic is on. Okay. Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to identify that you are going to form a team representing your department just to participate, or you want to show that, yeah, this year also your department has participated, or you have been winning the sports trophy for the past maybe 2 years, and this is the third year that you are wanting to have the hat trick and get the trophy. So you want to create a hat trick and do that. So again, I'm just trying to give an example. Like, what happens when it's a team? In a team, what you have to do is, first of all, if you're forming a team, you have to depend on each other. That yes, if we are from so many people, if we are choosing you, we should be able to depend on you, and we should be able to get the reason for what we have come together. And it's always nowadays, because post COVID, you might have noticed that it's not necessary that you always have to be together to form a team. Maybe you might have noticed that at times you have people giving you guidance or working for you, not like right now when we are having this session also, which has been coordinated. The organizers are not from a physical location where we belong, but altogether this team of 10 people are delivering lectures. So again, what have we done is dependability has been checked on. That will the professors from various colleges be able to pull in for a research lecture? Will they be there for 10 o'clock? Means 10 days for the 1 hour. Will they be available? So that dependability comes in when you're forming a team. Maybe at times you are together, that works really well, and maybe not being together also works really well. Why? Because at times getting together, completing that entire duration of traveling and all of this also becomes a little challenging. So we have to understand team has to have all these factors. You have to combine to achieve something together. If we are going to say, for example, we have to give a NAC presentation, so it will not happen, or it's not just a one man's job. Even though the principal has, or the seniors have a dream that we have got this ranking or this grade, but what are they achieving is not only theirs, but it's a team effort. So what you're doing is you're trying to achieve something together. Now, this again means that the process of working with a team to clarify its tasks and how team members can work to achieve it. They have to eventually work together. A strategy that can help a group to develop into a real-time team. Okay, that team building happens. Now, this again reminds me of one story, and I believe many of you all might have already heard this story, maybe in our childhood days. There was a farmer, and he had 4 sons, and they all were talented. They all had their own skills, and obviously the father had taken care to identify the skills of his children, and he had trained, and they were really doing well. but there was one problem. So I'm just trying to, modify a little changes because we have to put it into our scenario. So what happened is this father, he was quite happy that all his children are so skilled and they're doing so well. And altogether, at the end of the day, when he sees that as individual children, they are really very good. And then whenever a task is supposed to be done together and represent, he used to always feel that these children of his, all four of them are divided and they are lacking unity. And then as time started passing, obviously he was now maybe counting his days and he was not keeping well. But this fear as a father was constantly bothering him. And he said that I should do something so that my children are united and they excel more, because he as a father knew the potential. So maybe our principals, maybe our leaders, obviously if they are leaders, it means they have more experience. So he was just constantly wondering, and then he did an activity, or you would say, he just got 4 sticks and he called each child and he said, take the stick and break it. The children, they took it, and obviously all are talented, all are like one to beat the other with their talent. And obviously, if they are a farmer's child, so obviously they have that energy also. So what did they do is easily they took the stick in their hand and they broke it. Then the father also was like, he also said, wow, my children, you all are so, what you can say, you all have so much of energy and you all have done this task. Then he said, okay, do one thing, go collect 1 stick each together in your hands and do one thing, give all to me. So then what the father, like what the children did, they, okay, what dad is doing, they gave the sticks to him. The father just put all together and he said, okay, one by one, you all take it and please break and show it to me now. So now I think so we also can understand there are various factors. If you apply the physics or whatever it is, it will not happen. How much ever you try, all the 4 sticks will not break because they are together. That's what the father had to say in the form of a message. And that happens when we want to work in a team. Everybody will be different, everybody will have their own capabilities, but if a vision or a mission has to be met with the unique features that you have to come together to give dimension and to stand as a reflection. Because nowadays we understand there are so many colleges, there are so many institutions, there are so many departments within the institution, there are so many clubs and things happening, but we all have to know what is the purpose and why we should be together. And we have constantly been noticing, because I myself am an employer working earlier in one institution, now moving ahead for my career goals. But then somewhere or the other, we feel that we are wanting to give our best, but our team does not support us. Can we always keep on complaining about this? No. We have to have a positive mindset, but at times even a positive mindset will never work. What you need is, first of all, the leader should know how to play his role. If you are a leader, if you are getting the onus of being a leader, you should be able to identify and see your team. And obviously, if there are people who are already there in the institution, it means they have been tried, they have been tested, they have faced the interviews, and that's why they are a part of your organization. There was some key element which you might have seen, due to which they have been a part of that respective institution. So first filtering has already happened. That filtering has already happened. So you cannot regret or you cannot doubt that no, this person does not belong to the team. The first filtering has happened, but then gradually, based on the need, based on the requirement, you have to now, place things. Now, say for example, if you're playing a cricket match, everybody cannot be the first batsman. Everybody has to take turns. Everybody cannot be the wicket keeper. There's supposed to be only one wicket keeper. But then again, all these players together have to play their roles, and then only we get or win the trophies. So, do we also have that identification like it's our own human body? We have our hands, we have our legs, we have our face, we have the eyes, nose. All are different, but all are supposed to be together. If one thing goes wrong, obviously it starts hurting, it starts paining. So we have to take care of the wellness. So we can take live examples from things that are around us only. Clear? Now, key actions that are needed in team building. When you are going to be a part of a team or you're going to be a leader, you require to have the setting and maintaining the team's objective and standards. Now, say for example, I'll take the example of an institution. Say for example, the college is going to begin their academic session. So we have various teams, we have various clubs, we have various societies, we have the academic council, then we have our various departments. So we should be able to identify and we should be able to place. Obviously, we have seniority wise roles that have to be played. But then eventually it should not be just because we have got a list, we will just do random sorting and we will place everybody because everybody has to be given work. Because this is somewhere I feel it's not a good approach that because everybody has to work, we will just leave, that idea as to what they can do. It's just like how we always keep on seeing this picture of Albert Einstein where they show one elephant, then they'll show one small puppy, and then they'll show a fish. All of them together, and then we're expecting all of them to give the same results. No, the same thing happens in our institution. Everybody is not a good presenter. Everybody is not. Each one has their own capability. Maybe somebody is very good in just doing work silently. So, setting and maintaining the team's objectives and standards when you're forming this team is the key element. Involving the team as a whole in the achievement of objectives. You have formed the team, but does it happen in such a manner? Because many times we might have seen in our classes also, and even in our departments, or maybe on the teams that we are made, that say, for example, a conference is going to happen. And then maybe only the convener or maybe the organizing secretary is the only one who is working for all of it. Or you have actually involved the whole department and given all of them the role. Okay, you take the role of a treasurer, you take the role of, maybe the food and accommodation, you take all of this. So are we doing it because we are the convener, so we are the boss and we will do everything? Or it is like, okay, we know that this person is very good in hospitality. Okay, so let's give this person this role, and automatically this person will be so appealing that obviously all the people, all the delegates coming will have happy faces to see and feel good. Then somebody is really good in making choice of what kind of food of your particular state, and you know how this happens. Somebody is very good in photography. So do you identify your team that way? That is something. What is the objective? How does success come just by having registration and participants, or it's just like the overall impact that you create from the starting of creating a link till the distribution of certificates? Is there a goal setting or it's just a formality? I'm just giving examples. Maintaining the unity of the team. We might have noticed that when we have NAC inspections, when we are, collecting data for India Today ranking, when we are collecting information for NIRF ranking, and nowadays there are so many things that are coming up. When you begin with the idea, it's so positive, but by the time everything gets over, we are all complaining, oh, that this person only has been working and this person only gets the appreciation, the rest are not together. So these differences, are they maintained, or we are trying to meet that vision and be united? Because tasks will keep coming and going, but we as humans, do we have that goodwill after the task also completes, or it's like we are having a sour kind of a relationship and feeling where we are having grudges against each other? Now, communicating efficiently with the team. This is something which is, again, I feel communication is a very vital thing when you are being in a part and you are representing a team. Again, parallel, like I'm telling you, you have to think as a leader, you have to think as a team member. If you're facing any difficulty with your team, do you go and identify, or you just choose one or two people and tell that, yeah, this whole team of mine is not performing and they can never do anything? Are you communicating it in this manner? Or if you are say for example, if you are a team member and you say that, oh, my boss does not understand me, he's given me this work, I don't want to do this work. So that communication, are you open to share? Are you having that kind of bonding, that unity? Because simultaneously comes with all this understanding. So how to form that team and how to do that, I will be talking about in the later stage. So communication nowadays in relationships also in our families also, we might have noticed that due to lack of communication, a lot of things are getting back to us. So are we communicating efficiently? It does not mean that we're becoming yes men or just entertaining and encouraging. No, it's about the goal that we have to achieve and the reason for which the team has been formed. Okay. Consulting the team members before taking any decisions. This is again something really which I believe at times is missing. Somewhere or the other, it is noticed that we do not know how and when to take consultation. At times, we realize that many teams they are just subjected to just be yes men and follow as instructions have been given. We have to understand that each person is an individual and each person has a potential. So we should be able to consult with each other. We should at least have some meetings where everybody speaks, everybody expresses. When we are taking a decision, it should be the consensus of majority or maybe everybody. And suppose if people are saying it's going wrong, you might have noticed that many times a meeting is conducted, a event is done, and if it is a success, everybody cheers. But if it gets bad, then what happens is the person who maybe did not even say, he knew but he did not even say, then that person will say, see, I told you that this would have happened, or see, I knew that this will happen. So this kind of attitude does not work. It speaks about your own personality, which does not fit in the institution's welfare. Okay. Now I have again, like I said, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is my role model. So let's listen to what he has to say.
The leader, you have to have 6 traits what leader should have. And what are the 6 traits? Number 1, leader must have a vision. Without a vision, you will not be a leader, he or she. So leader must have a vision. The second one, leader must be able to travel into an unexplored path. Normally, tendency to travel the, well laid out path. But the leader, he takes path of untraveled path. Third, leader must know how to manage success. Most importantly, the failure. Any mission he does or she does, so he has to go through some failure. They should know how to manage the failures. When the failure occurred, the leader of the organization owned the leader failure. When the success came, please. Next one, fourth point, leader must have a courage to take decision. That's no problem today throughout the world. Leader must have a courage to take a decision. Fifth one, leader should have a nobility in management. Nobility in management is a big question mark. So I believe leader should have a nobility in management. Every action of the leader should be transparent. You know what I mean? So that is, a leader should work with integrity and succeed with integrity. Leader should work with integrity and succeed with integrity.
Okay, so I believe we get this idea as to, obviously, if the leader has the vision, like you might have noticed that we have our honorable prime minister, we have the president, and then leadership defines the nation. Leadership defines from where we come. That's why somewhere or the other we have this category which is called as developed and developing and Viksit Bharat, and all these things are coming into place because that's the effort, the vision, and things that a leader has decided. So if the leader in you knows what has to be done, obviously the team will be able to chase the dreams and nothing is impossible. And I believe Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is one such witness, and that's the reason why we have also got a recognition, and all this success gradually that we are getting is because of him. Okay, now as I said, that obviously we are talking so much and we are being so positive, but then how to identify how to make a team? You can just randomly try it. You can do it even in your class. Because you might have noticed, I'm giving, examples when I talk about higher institutions. I'm giving it in the context of students. I'm giving it in the context of your department, or maybe any work that you do. Because nowadays you might have noticed that in your department also you have files to maintain, but then the files also are IQAC requirements where you have to, take care of maybe the student file, you have to take care of the research file or whatever it is. So before, as a HOD or as a principal, or maybe in your class, if you are going to give a task, you have to start asking questions. Just in one meeting, you can keep an agenda. You can ask them, because obviously everybody has that kind of sense to answer as to we know where it is heading to. You can ask your team members. Write down and tell me, say, for example, Mary, I am best when, or where do I do my best if I'm in the college? Where is it that I can give my best? So obviously you'll be getting, you say you write 3 places where you feel that you will be the best and you can give it your best for the welfare of the institution. Obviously, with the good comes the ugly side. So you can again ask that where is it that you're going to be the worst, or where you feel that you do not belong. And I feel somewhere or the other, this is where everything starts getting wrong, because we do not keep, or we do not let things work out the way it should. We have perceived certain things and we feel that we are leaders, so we can do any kind of thing. But then again, we have to understand, if we know and understand the well being of each and everyone around us, automatically, when you know the best of a person and the worst of a person, so the red flag and the green flag is already in your hand. If you're encouraging the green flag, you know you are going to get in success. But again, if the red flags is something which you want to honor the person and keep giving those, you know eventually who will be the sufferer, because that person has been employed with both the good, the bad, and all of it. Then at times, you might have noticed, and you can always ask, you can count on me. Like, you can ask that when is it that, suppose if I need kind of help, when is it that, or what is it that you can be trusted for? So you can ask your team members that suppose I am facing this kind of a difficulty and something which maybe I have not foreseen, but where is it that you can help me? That's why you might have noticed that other than academics, also there are so many other things that's the place where you can see a dancer, where you can see a singer, maybe where over there you can see somebody who's really good in giving suggestions for welcoming the guest, and maybe some creative ideas of making your campus look beautiful. So these are the places which unique ideas come out when you're doing this small task. And then eventually when you have had a discussion with your team, then you can tell them, and maybe through these 3 questions you've already got to know what the person is trying to say, and then you can very boldly say that I understand who you are and what I can count on you for, and this is what I need from you. You should not end up saying from all of you. Give that individual space, one-to-one interaction, because nowadays what's happening is, earlier it used to happen that there never used to be that interaction of the the seniors with the juniors, and that respect and that reverence used to be there. Like, we as teachers also keep on complaining that nowadays the students, they don't respect the teachers, or nowadays maybe the HOD and the new faculty that come, that rapport is not there. We have to understand change is stable, things are changing. You cannot offend anybody, because nowadays everybody has that privilege of being qualified at a young age. So we have to stop our rigidity. We have to, flow, and we have to, keep moving. If we stagnate, automatically, when anything stagnates, it starts stinking. So are we ready to be in that mess, or we are ready to chase that path which will always make it better? So that's what we can do. Motivation should always be there. Maybe at times, say for example, when you're having a NAC visit, we know that everybody has their family routine, but all through the year, you will not be calling people to stay back, right? So you can motivate and you can say, okay, for 1 month, maybe whole time you will have to work 1 month, 1 hour extra. Now, how you want to work? What makes the best in you or the worst in you? Is it staying? Identify, ask on the lower level that will you be able to give the results very nicely the way we want it at home over here? Then automatically you should give that liberty to that person. Unity and diversity, we should not be choosy about, okay, we will prefer only this kind of thing happening. There should be diversity, because the new look that you have always will give a better dimension. We need to have a broader perspective. We can't always think that boss is always right, or maybe only when the seniors say that is right. If it is something that is to be shared, instead of rectangular and instead of square tables, it should be a round table discussion. That makes a lot of difference. Whenever you go to many organizations, and you will see that at times there the arrangement, the seating, the things, how you make your teachers feel, how you make your seniors feel, how do you make profiles which you have entrusted to people who have moved from a lower position to a higher position. It is just because of seniority with age, or it's because of seniority because of the person's caliber. So that kind of a broader and a progressive attitude needs to be there. And obviously, we should never miss out on the goal. We should be very clear with our goals. It's not just because it has to be done, because many times what happens is, we know we have our teaching, we have our constant meetings, and then activities is something we have to do. Then we have the constant changing of new education policy, state education policy. Sometimes it is semester system, sometimes it is annual system. So these things will keep on happening. This is something which is beyond our control. And because it's a system, decisions are taken, some are good, some are bad, but then we cannot deny it. We have to cope with all of this. But we should not lose our goal. And again, I would like to say that our goals should not be goals based on demands of other people. NAC should never be our vision. NIRF should never be our vision. This rankings that we are having nowadays, India Today and all, we should have a vision one step above that. We should have our documentation not because we have to give it to the IQAC. Our documentation should be that anybody comes randomly and asks, they know that yes, these people are well versed with their stuff. So you should show that coordination, because if you're doing it for somebody else, that person will have maybe after some time another demand. But if you know you're self-sufficient and doing your best, automatically there will be a difference. And the determination that come what may, we have chosen, our goal is to be positive, our goal is to stand together, our goal is to be united. Then obviously you become like a strong wall which is going to face any and everything. Now, when you are in a team, I'm just, I do not take any picture. I avoided. I said, let's take a representation, something which has an Indian setting, because sadly, when I did a, Google search and I said team building in a higher education institution setup, so I could get very rarely, all of it was something which was having a westernized picture. So again, I hope we don't even document teamworks and all of it, maybe in our social media feeds. But then this is just one example because I could see this picture, so I used this picture only. When you are in a team, you should be able to keep peace, because you might have noticed many times what happens is we keep a meeting, we are forming a team, and there'll be 2 or 3 people who just really create the mess. So are you able to maintain the peace? Are you able to tolerate, and the vision for what the meeting or the agenda for which the meeting is kept, you will be there? We have to be tolerant. And more than tolerating the situation, we should know how to deal with the situation. We need to be friendly, even though it's your junior most or even though it's the senior most. That fear or that liberal attitude should go beyond, and there should be a friendly rapport, congenial environment. Enthusiasm, obviously, every day we are going to college, then again we are going back. But just imagine, calculate from the time when you might have joined, maybe you were young, you were just, completing your education and you have started your work. And if you're sustaining in that same institution, just imagine you spend your full life. And just imagine if it's lacking enthusiasm, you have spent your full life without that. So find a purpose, find some good reasons, not only in yourself, but also for your team to keep up to that enthusiasm. Because, if you are sad, automatically, somewhere or the other, your team also will get that sad vibe. So you have to have that enthusiastic level, and it's a tough time when you're trying to do something. Feedback. It's not always that everybody will be performing well. If you feel that the work was supposed to be given, the mails were to be sent by this time, and if it's not happened, monitor, see once, twice. But third time, if it's not happening, you have to give that feedback there and then. You can't wait for that person to move from one pay scale to the other pay scale without being identified with that change. You are the leader or you are the team player. You have to take that realization in, you have to take call for that. You have to generate ideas, not that the idea is said, so you will accept. If you feel no, we can differ, you have to. Initiative. If something has been given, you have always been, say, for example, in your team, for the past 5 years, because you give the presentation really nicely, you only present. No, maybe somebody's got a very good voice, somebody does very good anchoring. Let that shift happen. Let that change happen. Solve the problems, not create problems. Because, there are many problem makers, but then problem solvers are very few. So be a unique one. You should always have that appropriate humor. At times, it happens that we, get carried away and we do not know who and what we are speaking to. But then that light and that appropriate humor should be maintained. Always, if it's a team, please understand, if you are alone, you will do as per your understanding and maybe the people who support you. But if it's a teamwork, it is always good to see that everybody seeks approval, and if somebody is having a different opinion, there is nothing like right or wrong. We have been trained about this. So ask, and maybe if it can be explained and we can understand, it's better to note that thing also and then move ahead. Then I believe it will be better without any kind of reluctance. Encouraging others, you have to be helpful. You have to be helpful when you are doing it, because at times maybe the person who is a part of your team is the youngest but has the full enthusiasm of doing the work. But then if you don't help the person, like I'll give you an example of my college life. When I had joined the institution, I, honestly speaking, I had completed a computer course in when I was doing my graduation, and we all knew that how we do a computer course. But then at that time, computers also was something where you just click it once and you remove your shoes and you go, and that's it. That was what was computers few years back. But then when I came and I had to work on Excel sheets, I never knew how to do that. To be very honest, I never knew how to drag, how to select shift and then drag and write the serial numbers without typing it manually. So what did I do is I approached for help and my seniors, maybe not by age or whatever, but we have to seek help. If we do not know anything, we have to have that thing in, when we are in a team, instead of not doing it or fearing it. Now comes the interesting part, is key factors to successful performance of a team. You need to have a strategy. You need to know what role is going to be played. Say, for example, now syllabus has to be designed. NEP happened, like in Karnataka, we had first new education policy, and then now because the government has changed, so now we have to go in for state education policy. Can we avoid the situation? Can we move out of it? No. Can we just have a resentment and create something new and stick to that? No. So when we don't have much of choices, we have to check out, and we have to have a strategy to deal with the situation. So obviously in your department, you can't just do, oh, now the syllabus has come, so everybody will do. We know some people in the department, they are very good at it. It can be given to them and the others can be given some other work. It's not that because the syllabus has to be made, the junior most who is just a PG or maybe just freshly completed PhD will do this work. We have to understand age, time, and experience brings a difference in the kind of work that you do. It's not just wrote that because we have to divide the work, let us do 5 divided by 2. Okay, you'll do 1 unit, 1.5 unit, you'll do this unit, and that's it. No, that will be unfair on your side and for the future of the children. Open communication should be there. Maybe you will not be liked for it, or maybe you'll be appreciated, but that open communication should be there. Rapid response. You can't. We might have noticed that in our team, say for example, there is a task to be done, but then 2 or 3 people have this temperament that they will not respond once they go back. So make it clear. Make it clear with your team that, bro, my dear friend, when I go back to work, from when I go back home after work, I like to have my personal space. So then the leader or maybe the person who is assigning all the tasks knows how to deal with that situation. It does not mean that the person will change. We have to, be flexible and maneuver what we have to do. So what we have to do is we have to have effective leadership key factors to successful performance. So somewhere or the other, constantly along with team building, I feel leadership plays a very vital role. That's why you might have seen that when any functions are there, when many events are there, is the leader on the move, or it is that the people who are assigned are doing their best? That's when you go for a conference, when you go for a seminar, or you go for any event. That's the time when you'll be understanding the teamwork coming out. So everybody has their own unique way of depicting it. Now, I believe this is a very relatable picture where you can see how the atmosphere is when you're in a workplace and you do not know, you're just coming, timetable has been given to you, you are taking your classes, and then maybe you are going for your tea breaks and you're coming back, then you're having a lunch break, and then you are completing your work done diary lesson plans. Okay, so you have to be very clear, okay, as the HOD or as the coordinator or as the dean, you have to say that our target is, in comparison to the other deaneries, we will try to complete in this semester, say for example, a target of each department will be entrusted with so many activities covering all the goals, like extension activities, all of this. So automatically everybody knows, yeah, there's something to do. It should not be that, okay, this person only will be doing. So we have a goal and we are oriented and we are doing it. So obviously I feel we will end up with something like this. I believe all of us have seen watched this movie, and we can over here again see that a team can stand when the leader is really good. There'll be never, and again, we have to also understand that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. At times, we have to decide our team has to be a big team or a small team, because you might have noticed that for little more serious and things holding gravity, confidentiality, it cannot be let go with everyone. So you have to understand that who is going to be your confidant or who can be given all kinds of work and should be given work is the discretion of the leader. So you have to keep believing in your own self as a leader, and as a team, you should be showing that kind of confidence. Obviously, when your team is built up, each team member has the creativity to show his or her talent. Everybody is encouraged to take initiative. Everybody knows that, yeah, boss, this is my role. And if I don't do it well, obviously it will affect the others. There should be one single target, that maybe you are maybe doing this file or you're doing that file, but then eventually our documentation should be exceptionally well, and we should be able to go a little higher than what we were. Maybe don't think for bigger things, but then gradually it should be on the progressive or the higher side. You have to even allow people to have individual growth. It's not only team that is working for the welfare of the institution. No, that person who is working on his or her level also should be given appreciation, should be identified, and that is entrusted to the leader to give the due, because without motivation, without appreciation, it does not work out. Like, say, for example, birthdays are there, especially maybe give a card, send a mail, appreciate, celebrate, sometimes in cash, sometimes in kind, sometimes publicly, sometimes you can do it maybe in your respective space. That is something which you have to do. Team building, you have to have broader visions. You can't just say, oh, if we are only doubting, then how can this happen? And like we saw this video of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, it says that you need to have a broad vision. And like I said, rewards and recognition, teachers' days happens. We have sports day. If people are good in sports, let your team win in sports. If they are very good in, say, for example, annual day, cultural fest or whatever it is, so appreciate, because everybody is doing their role. Everybody has grown from a student to individual who's working, right? So one more video I would like to show. I have few more things which I have to complete. So I'll just quickly show this video.
What sets the great teams apart from the rest? It isn't their talent or their strategy. The teams they compete with are often equally strong in those areas. What sets them apart is their invisible bond, the type of bond that fosters a willingness to do whatever it takes for the team to succeed, that fosters tremendous trust and confidence in one another, that supplies the team with the passion and energy needed to achieve things that to others seem impossible. But how are these types of bonds created? Through shared sacrifice. The greater the sacrifice, the greater the bond. Sacrifice is the glue that strengthens the team's bond over time. That's why the great coach Bo Schembechler intentionally conducted such grueling preseason practices. While doing so, he would confidently declare to his team, "Those who stay will be champions." He knew that to be true, because he knew that through the pain, through the suffering, through the sacrifice, the weak would fade, and those that endured, the bond of champions would be born. Bo's strategy for his team aligned well with what Gordon B. Hinckley once said. You will come to know that what appears today to be a sacrifice will prove instead to be the greatest investment you will ever make. No question, to build a strong team bond, you must instill a collective mindset where everyone on the team is willing to put the team ahead of themselves. A culture that is willing to sacrifice for the betterment of others, for the betterment of the team. This dynamic is what gives the team strength to see no mountain is unclimbable and no challenge is unconquerable. Remember what Mia Hamm once said, "I am a member of a team and I rely on the team. I defer to it and I sacrifice for it because the team, not the individual, is the ultimate champion." It's important to understand that in the simplest form, if you sacrifice for someone, that shows you love them. So a team that sacrifices for one another is a team that loves one another. And at the core, that's what makes the heart of a champion. So as the leader, how do you achieve this? It starts with your standards. In the world of business, you may not be able to stretch your team's muscles, but you can stretch their mindset. You do this by setting a standard of excellence. The higher the standard you set, the stronger the bond you'll create. In order to do this, remember that people will rise to the standard you set or fall to the standard that you allow. So the key is, what will you allow? The bar needs to be raised to a level where those that live above it cannot help but respect one another for doing so. And for those that consistently live below it, they must not be allowed to remain on the team, for they are like kryptonite to the strength of your bond. Nick Saban said it best when he said, mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. So if everyone in the organization does not buy into the same high standard, you're never going to be successful. And it's important to note that standards must be set far beyond just performance and goals. They must extend into the details. How you treat your customers and teammates, promptness to meetings, cleanliness of workplace, discipline to process, the list goes on. Standards must be set and they must be non-negotiable. You must build a culture of trust. It's impossible to have a strong bond without trust. As Simon Sinek said, a team is not a group of people who work together. A team is a group of people who trust each other. Trust starts with the leader. You must say what you do and do what you say. Be transparent. Be authentic. Tell it like it is. This will permeate into your team and create an environment of open and honest communication, where your word is your word and that is your bond. You must set high goals and everyone must buy into the mission. Teams that understand their why and work together to achieve a common goal that they could never achieve on their own have a stronger bond. You must cultivate camaraderie, have fun together, spend time outside of work together. Make it a point to show the team praise and appreciation often. Have the team share personal and professional achievements for one another. Hold all hands meetings where you shout in unison your company fight song or company motto, and celebrate your victories. A team that plays together stays together. And if you do these things consistently over time, a cohesive bond will be created among your team that allows you to accomplish more than the sum of your parts.
Okay, so I believe these are again 10 things which we can give a quick read for an effective team. The working atmosphere will not always be formal. You will have your own space. There is a lot of discussion that happens. Everybody is not quiet. Everybody wants to give their ideas to make it the best. The members listen to each other. It's not just one man speaking or one woman speaking. It's like in unison, everybody speaks. There will be disagreement. You will be open to express that, yeah, this does not work. Let's change it. A kind of consensus eventually emerges. Like, okay, fine. Maybe I thought it wrongly, or maybe I was not thinking it in that manner. So then eventually it happens that way. Criticism is frequent, frank, and relatively comfortable. You become very okay with it. People are free in expressing feelings and thoughts. Action is taken. Clear assignments are made. Leadership shifts as the circumstances dictate. It's not always the same person who will be taking up leadership roles. That's the reason why lately we have seen that positions of HODs and coordinators keep on rotating based on a method that has been thought of. Group is maintained, and all of this happens. And obviously, there are advantages. You're able to identify, like I said, as per the exercise, the strength, the weakness. We are directed towards our vision. We have set a vision that, yeah, this is what we want, and we get it. We develop communication and collaboration not only in our institution, but all over. Creative thinking, obviously, we are able to solve better problems. We build up trust because we are not just being rigid, we are going beyond ourselves. We are able to delegate. And eventually, like I started with my presentation saying, that's one effort for productivity. So eventually, we become productive. There will be disadvantages, there will be conflicts, like in a team. Eventually, when you are not going in the right way, we face these difficulties and we cannot deny it. Like you have day, so obviously the night will be there. But then you can lessen that impact. You can make it better in the night by putting, how do we encounter, or how do we face darkness? Is by having supplements for it. We have so much of replacement and we try to fix it. So we have to make it breathable and focus on what thing needs to be worked on. Yeah, this I believe is already understood. And then I would like to just end saying, teamwork is coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. A famous quote by Henry Ford. That's all from my side. Thank you. If there are any questions or anything that you would